Hello, everyone. Today we are talking about a topic that has been sparking a lot of conversation lately. Enugu State's local government council elections held on Saturday, September 21, 2024. For those of you who may not be fully aware, this election saw the People's Democratic Party (PDP) winning all 17 local governments in Enugu State, a result that many are calling too perfect to be true. But as with many political events in Nigeria, the election was followed by protests, accusations, and widespread allegations of irregularities from opposition parties, most notably the Labour Party. Today, we'll take a comprehensive look at what transpired, breaking down the controversies, the political stakes, and the reactions from the public and key political players. Was this election a legitimate expression of democracy, or was it marred by manipulations and undemocratic tactics? Now, let's get started. Let's begin with the core of this event, the results. According to the Enugu State Independent Electoral Commission and SEC, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) swept all 17 local governments, securing all chairmanship seats. This landslide victory was hailed by Professor Christian Ngu, the NSEC chairman.
637 votes. And Irregularities, PDP, 24,135 votes. And Irregularities of PDP stands elected.
As a result of a free, fair, and transparent election process. He emphasized that the results were accurately collated and that all parties involved had access to the result sheets during the counting process. Now, on the surface, this sounds like a perfectly conducted election, but as we'll see shortly, not everyone agrees with this assessment. Interestingly, while the PDP is celebrating this victory as a major win for democracy, the opposition, led primarily by the Labour Party, has a very different story to tell. From PDP's perspective, this election marks a strong endorsement of their policies and leadership. Governor Peter Mbah himself described the election as democracy in action, expressing satisfaction with the process and the turnout. However, his narrative is being challenged. There's a whole other side to this story that casts a shadow over these celebrations. Now, let's flip the script and examine the Labour Party's take on this election. Almost immediately after the results were announced, Labour Party officials across several local governments cried foul, claiming the election was rigged in favor of the PDP. Chief Kajetan Aganibo, a Labour Party chieftain in Ogurugu local government area, didn't mince words. He referred to the election as a sham and accused the PDP of hijacking the entire process. According to Aganibo, Labour Party candidates were denied the opportunity to compete on a level playing field.
I'm very sad and dissatisfied with this election. I came back from Lagos for this election to vote in my polling unit. This is supposed to be my polling unit here. 007. 007. That's my polling unit. I came back here. This is what's the time now.
It's 1:30.
1:30 as at 1:30 p.m. There's no election. There's no electoral officer. There's no polling booth. I was told that they brought the polling materials at a central place called Ajaba. And some people hijacked it. Solomon Ojoku, Anozie, and one boy they call what's his name? Makananta. They took it to their various homes. Is that election? Is their house election places? I came here, I'm a Labour member. I want to vote for my candidate. And I came here and nobody brought in the electoral material. What kind of country are we doing?
He pointed to several irregularities, including the late arrival of voting materials and alleged interference by PDP members in critical stages of the election process. In Ogu, for example, Aganibo claims that PDP members already distributed election materials, leading him and his team to boycott the election altogether. And Aganibo wasn't the only one to speak out. Labour Party candidates across Enugu State have reported similar issues. Chinonso Orji, another Labour Party representative, laid out 5 key issues in a formal statement, accusing the PDP of not only rigging the election, but also using intimidation and harassment to suppress opposition votes.
I don't know, done sites. And then on the councillorship, I bear on some words. Eh? Why?
I don't know. Go to the word.
I just want to confirm now because I've already confirmed from them.
The person of these questions are the word returning
officers. Yes, I have made inquiries. Not in all words. So that is what I came to confirm. Because some were just not here. So when I went to the return office, I said not all was, and they are the one cancellership here and result sheets supposed to be on site and it's not here.
First, there's the issue of conflict of interest, with PDP members allegedly taking on roles that should have been filled by neutral electoral officials. Then there's the matter of missing result sheets, vital documents that were supposedly unavailable at several polling stations that then may need to question the legitimacy of the results.
Right. Reporting from Ogurugu Correction Center, the materials arrived, but no result sheets in the election materials. And secondary, all the NSEC officials, they are all PDP members. So what's happening now? You can see the boss, no result sheets. The members of the NSEC, which are PDP members and PDP agents, they want us to accept the materials, which has no result sheet, but we insisted if there's no result sheet, we are not going to receive the materials for election.
And let's not forget the reports of intimidation. Labour Party agents were reportedly arrested by the police for simply demanding transparency at the polling units. Now, let's take a deeper dive into these alleged irregularities. What exactly went wrong? Labour Party officials weren't the only ones raising concerns. Independent observers from civil society organizations have also flagged issues with the election process, particularly the handling of sensitive materials and the overall management of the polling units. One major point of contention was the distribution of election materials. In several local governments, including Ogurugu, the voting materials reportedly arrived late, causing delays in the voting process. But even more concerning is the claim that in some areas, PDP agents were allegedly involved in distributing these materials instead of neutral electoral officers. This kind of involvement raises red flags, especially in a context where transparency is crucial. How can the electorate truly trust the results if the very people running for office are involved in the distribution of the ballots? This is a fundamental issue that undermines the credibility of any election. Additionally, the lack of access to result sheets during the collation process has been another sticking point for opposition parties. In many political units, results sheets were reportedly unavailable, which means opposition candidates couldn't independently verify the results announced by NSEC. This raises concerns about the integrity of the election and whether the results were tampered with during the collation. While political leaders from the Labour Party have been vocal, the public hasn't remained silent either. In Uzowane, for instance, the Ogurugu community took to the streets in protest after the results were announced.
Today, we are demonstrating Enugu State election in Ogurugu today. As you can see the people, we have waited for the electoral material. We don't have any other choice than to step outside and demonstrate that there was no election. There was no in Ogurugu today.
According to residents, no election took place in their area, yet a winner was declared by NSEC.
People are here already waiting, but nobody is here for any election. As you can see, these are the disclaimers, and no one is here for any election. Meanwhile, there are some group of people who are posting in Ogurugu forum that they have done the election. There was no single election done. Evidence around can show you that there was no single election in this place. People are coming out for the election, but no one is here. There's no polling booth, no materials for the election. See a voter who is with his card for voting, but nobody is here. See their voters' cards here. No one is here. Indication 4.
The people have accused the PDP of imposing a candidate without holding any credible election. The protests have been growing in intensity, with community leaders demanding answers from NSEC. They claim that the PDP manipulated the results to install their preferred candidates in local government elections. This isn't just a political issue, it's a matter of the people's trust in the electoral system. Now, all of these controversies, what is the governor doing? What is NSEC doing? The Usowani protest serves as a microcosm for the broader dissatisfaction many communities feel about this election. Despite assurances from NSEC and the government, these people are demanding justice, and it's clear that their voices won't be silenced easily. With more protests potentially on the horizon, the question now is whether the Enugu State government and NSEC will respond to these grievances or if they will dismiss them as the complaints of sore losers. Either way, the situation is far from resolved. Amidst all of these protests and allegations, Governor Peter Mbah has stood by the integrity of the election and described the protest as a peaceful and orderly, celebrating it as a milestone for his administration and for democracy in Enugu State. According to him, the voter turnout was high and he received no significant reports of disruptions or misconduct. The governor's remarks have drawn mixed reactions, while PDP supporters see this as an endorsement of the election's fairness. Opposition members are accusing the governor of being out of touch with reality. They argue that by downplaying the protests and allegations, Governor Mbah is ignoring the concerns of thousands of voters who feel disenfranchised by the election process. Critics are calling for the governor to address these concerns head-on, rather than dismissing them as a mere political maneuvering by the opposition. So, where does this leave us? On one hand, we have the PDP celebrating a clean sweep and pointing to high voter turnout as evidence of their popularity. On the other hand, we have the opposition and a growing number of citizens questioning the very foundation of these results. The divide between these two perspectives couldn't be starker. Whenever election disputes like these arise in Nigeria, legal challenges are inevitable. As of the time of this recording, Labour Party candidates are already preparing to take their grievances to court. They are pushing for an annulment of the election results, and several local governments arguing that the election did not meet the standards of fairness and transparency as mandated by the Nigerian Constitution. But these kinds of legal battles are complex and time-consuming. Nigeria's judicial system is notorious for lengthy court processes, and it could be months, if not years, before a final decision is made. What happens in the meantime? Will the PDP remain in control of all 17 local governments, or could we see some form of provisional action taken by the courts? It's worth noting that while court cases have historically overturned some election results in Nigeria, the bar is very high. The Labour Party will need to present compelling evidence of widespread malpractice if they want any chance of success in court. The media and the public have been extremely vocal about this election. Social media platforms in particular have been flooded with the reactions from citizens all across Enugu State and beyond. On Twitter, hashtags like Enugu election and PDP fraud have been trending as users share their thoughts on the election results. Many people have expressed their disbelief over the PDP's clean sweep, while others have pointed to a larger issue of voter apathy. This election is another reminder that our votes don't matter, one Twitter user wrote. On the flip side, there are PDP supporters who believe the results are legitimate and are urging opposition parties to accept defeat gracefully. The media too has had mixed reactions, while state-owned media outlets have mostly praised the election as peaceful and democratic. Independents and opposition-leaning outlets have been more critical. Headlines like a democratic disaster and PDP's flawed victory are dominating the independent press. This divide between the media narratives have further highlights how contentious the results of these elections have become. It's not just about who won or lost. It's about the integrity of the democratic process itself. People want to know, was the election truly a reflection of the will of the people? With protests ongoing, legal challenges looming, and a growing public outcry, the big question now is, what happens next? Will NSEC or the Enugu State government make any concessions or address the concerns raised by the Labour Party and other opposition groups? Or will they hold firm on their stance that the election was free and fair? One thing is certain. The political landscape in Enugu is likely to remain tense in the coming months. With the 2027 general elections not too far off again, this local government election may be a preview of what's to come, a battle not just between political parties, but between competing narratives of democracy. We'll be following this story closely, bringing you updates as more information unfolds. Whether you're a PDP supporter celebrating a clean sweep or an opposition voter feeling cheated, one thing is clear. Democracy, in all its imperfections, is a process. And sometimes it's a messy one. So what do you think? Were the Enugu State local government elections truly a reflection of the people's will, or were they tainted by irregularities? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. We always love hearing from you and engaging in healthy democratic debate. We have a lot more in store, including an in-depth analysis of the gubernatorial elections in Edo State, and of course, the other local government elections across other states in Nigeria. Until next time, my name is Emmanuel.